came with a lot of resistance. And the main reason being, I have enough on my plate. I don't have time for this. I think I could see from the beginning that there was expertise here, that there was a very valuable community, but I was just anxious about the time it would take. Fear keeps us in a very small little box. We might be comfortable there, but we're not really flourishing. We're not really growing. So I've grown up in a very homogeneous church culture. Everyone knew each other right from birth. I grew up in a certain denomination and I've stayed there all my life. So there's a lot of familiarity, a lot of very similar shared experience, also culturally outside of our church context. And that has in it many beautiful blessings. But what I've really appreciated about this community was that it's Christians from all different backgrounds. And every kind of group of Christians or denomination is going to have different strengths. So to come into a community that came with it some different perspectives and different kinds of emphasis, and as an example, prayer. It's not that we didn't pray in our church community, but what I started learning very quickly from coming to DU was to see that really full integration of prayer casually, constantly, and very authentically wrapped into everything that we were doing here. And then the beauty of that is Anthony and I being able to take that back into our own church context, even in prayer groups that we're involved in there, has been wonderful. For my husband, he was running this business and he was maxed out, and the idea of kind of adding something onto his list was very stressful. He was kind of hanging on by a thread so often that I don't think he realized how good it could be. And that is the number one change that I've seen in him, is that he is studying the Word with faithful men that are wanting to hold him accountable, that love him, that have his best interests in heart, and that number one, the best thing that they could do for them is point him to Christ. It was unlike the other things that he'd had in the past, because it began with personal foundations, not business foundations. So reorienting himself by spending time with the Lord, knowing that that's where he needs to go to, more time in prayer, it has been a huge shift since coming to DeliberateU. It really is the thing that I think I've been praying for and wanting to see in him for many years. And that has also affected our marriage, because this is something we are doing together. God will graciously show you your own sins and your own weaknesses. And I have seen that change in Anthony. And of course, that has also applied into the business. So what we've been learning here, what we've been able to talk about as a couple, he starts to see how he shows up in the business as well. Being able to control those kind of automatic impulses that he has that come out of really good values that he wants, organization and neatness, and he wants his business to operate well. But when he starts to realize the impact that can have on the employees, and in terms of creating stress for them, so really being much more thoughtful in that. So whether that's personally in our marriage or in business, it's really kind of crossed all of those areas. The very thing that I was most concerned about, which was I'm too busy, I'm too stressed, I don't have time, is exactly where it started leaning into in terms of the work on rest and stress and solitude. So take a look at where that fear is based in, and walk into something that could be very beautiful and that the Lord could bless you in. I mean, I'm not going to say to a person that this or that will happen, but if you don't get out of sight of your fear, out of your little comfort zone, potentially your own little kind of church culture that you've had, you are missing out on a greater experience of the Church of Christ and his people gathered all over the place, and the things that he might want to teach you or bring to you through them. It might not always be easy. In fact, I don't think any kind of growth or transformation is going to come easy, but it is absolutely worth it. So I would just say, don't be okay with settling. Don't be okay with kind of just mediocrity, but seek to grow and push through your fear and get out of your comfort zone, because it's worth it. You will grow, you will benefit by being around others and being in community. Because community is the way that God created us. Absolutely.